Hello and welcome to this lesson, this chapter of the course, online course, Video Editing Technical Workflow. In this lesson, in this chapter, we are going to talk about titles and text. So we are using the same timeline, the timeline that we are working on since the beginning of the practicals. In this class, what we are going to understand, till now, we have seen that how do we watch footage, how do we review the footage inside the NLE, and then how do we organize it, how do we make an assembly, how do we make the rough cut, how do we make the final cut, how do we work on the audio, what do we do during color correction, what is the workflow of color correction. Yesterday we saw what kind of effects we can apply. There are some built-in effects, there are extra effects, there are generators, and today we are coming to titles and text. Now, titles and text are also generators. That means they are inside the software. We do not have to import anything. They are inside the software, and we can use them, and we can transform them, we can manipulate them, we can modulate them as per our wish. Like generators, there are solids. Yesterday I showed you this cloud as a generator. There are other generators also. I showed different kinds of generator behind the background of this character. And today also we are going to work on the generators itself, but a different kind of generators, which we call titles. So titles and text. How do we use titles and text in videos or in filmmaking or in video productions? First of all, a title or a text is, if you are using it to explain the story, if you are using it to explain what is happening, traditionally speaking, if you are using it to how it works and what is happening and how it is happening, so that is not, traditionally speaking, that is not very a good way to explain. That is not a very good way to tell a story where you are putting text to explain what is happening. It is not a very good way of audiovisual presentation. So if you want to have text, you can write it in a text and give it to the person whom you want to communicate. You can send a message, a written message to whom you want to communicate. If you have an audiovisual story, you should tell your story audiovisually. And that is what is cinema is about, that we have seen in the initial classes. Now, having said that, traditionally speaking, this was the thought. But now we are living in the age of Facebook and Instagram, where we have scrolling the videos and the sound is off. If we choose the consumer who is consuming this content on Instagram and Facebook and other places, if he or she chooses to switch on the sound, then only they can switch on the sound, right? So today's marketers and today's storytellers have to put text to explain the story. You cannot escape away from it. But the text is not just used to tell stories. Text is used, titles are used for many places. So basically there are 4 or 5 types of titles. One is the main title. Main title means, for example, I'll come to the technical part of it. First, I'm going in the basic things about titles. Suppose, so I'll keep doing on these things, the technical things also, how did I do this and all. So you keep seeing that also, but I'll first, while doing this, I will explain the aesthetic part. So the main title is something which is the name of the production house, the distribution house, suppose. Okay. So if I put like this, 1619 Media Center presents any video, any film, or your corporate client, or your producer, or your production house. So this is the main title, and subsequently the name will come. Name of the film will come. So that becomes these are the main title. Okay. The second type of title is called credit title. We know credit titles, like the credits given to the people who have worked on the video. So when we give credit to people who have worked on the video, those titles are called credit titles. So name of the film is not credit title. They're like, people use this vocabulary and that is wrong. Okay, name of the film is the main title. Title of the film, or we can say, okay, main title. Credit title is name of the humans and what they have done. Okay, he was the actor and he has done this role. the name of the character is this, or he was the director, or he was the assistant director, she was the editor, she was the cinematographer, the name of the person and the position he or she held during the shoot, during the whole production of the film. That is called credit title. Now, credit title should come in scroll. There is no rule. There is no rule. It depends on editor and the director, both. How you choose to present the title, where you choose to present the title. The title, main title should come in the beginning of the film like this, like I am doing this. It is not a rule also. We can just begin the film from here and the main title can come later also. Okay, there are many instances where we have seen that. And then film will start. So it depends on editor and the director. Third type of title is a chapter title. Suppose this region is one part of the video, and then we want to go to the next part of the video and we want a subsequent text in between. So that text, like Tarantino uses chapter names, you can use any name, whatever you are doing, whether it is a corporate video or a film or a documentary, whatever. So this kind of things are called chapter text or chapter titles. So first one is, I'll repeat, first one is the main title, then we have the credit titles, then this is the chapter title. Fourth type is subtitle. Subtitles are also called as captions. Subtitles, when see, they are talking and we see the text. I will show you today. They are talking and when we see the text below, the translation part or the same thing what they are saying, the dialogues of the film, not just the dialogues but whatever is happening in the film. There are two types of subtitles. One is directly, one is the normal subtitle, open or closed, and another is subtitle CC. That subtitle CC means mostly for those are made for deaf people who cannot hear anything. So for them that is made. Those subtitles are made where you can see wind hustling or door opening, door closing. You can see on Netflix or many websites in OTT platforms when you watch, or any film you watch, that subtitles will have the description of what is happening also. Soft music playing. Okay, why, you might think why they have to write the soft music playing. Okay, why they explain everything? That is for the deaf people who cannot hear. So they can also understand by reading everything what is happening. They can see, they can watch the film and they will read whatever is happening in the film. Main title, credit title, chapter title, subtitle. One more is the lower third title. Lower third title, like this. It comes at in the lower third region of the frame. That is why it is lower third title. Right. So if you're taking an interview or you have to put something informative here, you can use this kind of lower title. There are different kinds of lower titles. Lower third titles they are called. You can see here it is written lower third title. Okay. Now they have given different names. These are not types of titles. These are types of text over here. Okay, these are not type of titles. Titles. These 5 kind of titles are main kind of titles. Main title, credit title, subtitle, chapter titles, and lower third title. Okay. Now in television, there is one thing called Aston. Aston is something which comes, which has it is a thing like this. I'll show you. They have a template over here. Yeah, thing like this. See. Okay. Aston. This is Aston where a region covers the part of the frame. Here they use it like, okay, next, coming up next. This serial is not finished, this episode is not finished, but they have to hold you and you cannot go away. The next thing is coming, or recap, or the future episode, some snippets of future episode is coming. Even in between the ads, they show these kind of things. So depending on the colors and everything, and design also changes depending on the channel and what kind of brand they have. This software has some limitation in the colors. over here in this particular, but still we can do a lot many things. Petals and everything is coming. Okay, this is Aston, but this is not a type of title. This is just one thing that is used for television and news channels. They use it mostly. Now, so we know now these titles. Now let us jump to understand how to use these titles. So in any software, you go to the title section, text section. Remember, first thing is that title is a generator. This is a generator which software is generating itself. Now we are going to see titles. How do we use titles in NLE? NLE means non-linear editing system. Non-linear editing we have discussed in the video format class. It is opposite to linear editing, non-linear editing. So this software is editing non-linearly, right? We have seen that. We have put any footage we can put anytime. We can build any scene. This is a scene. Now we are editing this. Suppose we have to edit the whole film. It is a 20-minute film. Now we have to edit the whole film, and we are editing this scene comes in the middle of the film where he's getting rejected and coming out, and this assistant is meeting him and giving him contact of another person, and then they will go and meet him and things will follow up. Before this, the publisher has rejected him and all that. So I can start with this scene and then I can later come up with those scenes. That is non-linear editing. NLE is non-linear editing system. All the professional editing software are called NLE. FCP10 is an NLE. Adobe Premiere Pro is an NLE. Blackmagic Resolve is an NLE. Avid is an NLE. When a professional editor has a conversation with another professional editor, when a professional editor has a conversation with another professional editor, they do not use the term called what is happening with your video editing software or what is happening with that particular video editing software. No, they just call it what's the problem with that NLE? What's the issue with that NLE? In the NLE, you can put it, then you put it in the Photoshop, then you put it in there in the audio. So they talk like this. This cannot be put in any question, in any quiz or any examination. But this you must know. By just using these technical terms, people will know that you are an educated person. You know what you do, right? So I was just before this class, I was checking my WhatsApp story, and one of the person has given a photo of a pub, and he has written that today's shoot place. This guy is not a professional, and from here and there, somewhere he has got some contact and he's shooting. He doesn't do this regularly because a professional person will call it today's shoot location, not a shoot place. You might think that why I'm being so grammar Nazi, and I'm not being grammar Nazi. I am being technical term Nazi, you might say, and it is necessary. When you grow up in life and when you enter film industry, video industry, you will understand that not just of your it is not a question of your reputation or your image, but also ease in conversation. Okay, these technical terms are needed to understand, and in your language, when you are writing or when you are speaking to a professional people, you should use this language. So an editor uses the word NLE when he talks about video editing software. Okay. So having said that, let us come back to the titles again. We will see what kind of titles, what can we do with the titles in NLEs, video editing softwares. In each and every NLE, you will find different kinds of this kind of typography, this kind of titles. One PDF file about typography we are going to upload. So what is a typeface? What are fonts? What are types of typography that we are going to upload a PDF about that. In this chapter, in this live session, we are just doing the software part. Okay. So as you have seen already, when I went to the titles, there are many templates. There are many kinds of titles this software has, and every software has. They are animated also. Some of them are animated like this. You can see, right? It's nothing but keyframing. I will show you the keyframing also part. So I have taken a very simple static title over here. Okay, and I just dragged and dropped it here. Okay, then when I double click it, it gets selected over here, and the inspector also in Adobe Premiere, it is called effect controls. In FCP, it is called Instructor, the controls system. This also opens and this also open. Now, what can I do? What all can I do? Let us see. So here I will go and I can change the name. I will click the other text and the other text will also come and I will change the name. Okay. I can select them directly over here also. And I can then change the font. One suggestion, now this is not a rule again. Whenever for filmmaking, do not go for a font like this. Right? You can go for, there is no hard and fast rule, but the fonts that are used in normal text that you read in a newspaper or in a magazine or even in hoardings, those kind of fonts should not be used in any kind of typography in video production or filmmaking. Right? You have to put a stylish font. And about fonts, one more thing I want to say that the editor must remember the fonts. You must know the fonts, that Impact font will look like this, Futura will look like this, Sans Georgia will look like this, Kurataki look like this. By looking at the font, in experienced editor, by looking at the text, the experienced editor will tell what is the font, which font has been used. So during our offline classes in our diploma courses, when editors screens their film, sometimes I ask them, what is the font of your title? And if they're not prepared, everyone can see that this editor has just given output and he or she cannot tell what the font is. Okay, and that is not a very good thing. Anyways, you can select any font. You can increase or decrease. If I want to change this also, then I have to select this and I'll let me make it Impact, both of them. And I can change the size of this also, like this. Okay, I can change the alignment. These are, if too much of paragraph is there, then these things will be coming on. Now, this is a single line. Suppose this was the case. So this line spacing, you can see. Line spacing will space out the line, but I'm using a single line only. Tracking will expand the letters. Line spacing will expand the line, the tracking will expand the letters. Kerning. Tracking is expanding the letters uniformly. Kerning is wherever you keep the cursor, from there it will separate or merge. Right? Baseline to just move up and down. All caps, you know what happens when we do all caps, size and everything. Now, these parts are same as the clip. Now, this I want to do. I have selected this clip and I've reduced the scale. Okay. And I have done now. It totally depends on your aesthetic, what you think is good. Now here, what I did, I have reduced the scale. I have put the cursor here. Yesterday we did keyframing and I have shown you. So you can see here there is a key. So I just clicked and I have registered the keyframe here. I bring the cursor till the end and I make it bigger. Right? Now this is very fast. What if I I want to make it a little slow, right? This is fast. So I'll select this clip and I'll not make it much bigger if I want it to be slow. Okay. If you want to be more slow, you can just extend. Now the keyframe was still here, that is why it stopped. And so this I think is a pretty much okay. Now here I want to put the name of the title, name of the film or the video that you are going to make. And one thing is you must remember that whatever you are doing, each and every, how we download new font presets and use it in software, each and every software has a different way of downloading and importing the fonts, right? You can download fonts and you can import fonts in a different way. You can you have to go to the file preference systems, and then you can install the fonts. If you want, in the later part, in the conclusion part, I will give you a PDF where I'll give a note where importing of fonts, that is called importing of fonts, can be done. Okay, font presets can be done. So yes, we will do. I'll tell you later. First, but right now, what I'm talking about is titles here. So each and every software has a different process of importing these presets. So here, one thing you must remember, that the font should reflect the personality of your project, the personality of the content, right? If you have a comedy, this kind of font won't work in a comedy, right? If you have a thriller, you have such kind of, the impact is a better font for the thriller part. So whatever, if you have a corporate, you have Futura or Sans Georgia, those kind of things. So whatever kind of project you have, the font should reflect the personality of the project. Okay, this is very important. Another thing, you cannot change your fonts. If you have set a font for credit titles, all the credit titles should come in that same font. If you have set a font for chapters, all the chapter fonts should come in the same font. If you have set a font, if this font, main title, now the name of the film, that should be also the same font. So whatever type of title you have, subtitle you have, you cannot have different kind of subtitles in different places. Okay. So the best way is to copy the same thing and you paste it. I'll remove this. So I have copy pasted. I have the same font over here, and I will change the title. Suppose this is the name of the film. Now I want it to go reverse. So what do I do? First, I will remove all the keyframes. I make it bigger. I'll select the keyframe here. No. I have to bring this. Always remember to bring the cursor where you want the keyframe to be adjusted. And then I'll come here. And this time, okay, it was very small. I'll go back. So let's see what happened. Same thing, same thing. It is just so without any preset also you can animate. You do not need presets like this. So same thing I can do in this, like I showed you, know, this in this thing also. Okay. So these are main titles. Now the color of the font and the type of the font should be same. Also, like here, you can it is called face over here, but you can it is called different things in different softwares. So you can choose whatever you want to choose. White on black looks right. White text on black background look classy. The most of the people use that, but depends on, again I said, it depends on your personality, your project's personality, not your personality, your project's personality. So what kind of project you want to have. So I'm just randomly choosing a dark, bright red. So here, there's one trick that you use this dropper to change the color. Let me get back to the same color. And now I want the same color to be here, right? So I'll go here and I will choose the dropper. And I need, okay, now I cannot do it. Because, why can I do it? Because it was not there. So now first I need to bring it here. Okay. Then I choose the dropper again. Then I come in here and I like, see, I'm choosing this. And it automatically becomes the same red. Now there is no difference between the red. Okay. So dropper can choose. So you can do many other things with it. Outlines also, you can have a certain kind of outlines, blurred outline. You can give it a width if you want. But more interestingly, what in today's NLEs, what you can do, you can make it a 3D text. So the same thing, I can make a 3D text, right? So this is, here you can see this is a 2D thing. Let me select this. It already got into 3D, you can see, right? Let me change the keyframing and let me make it bigger to you to understand. So here what all things are here. So depth. So depth, you understand that what depth it is talking about, how much deep is the thing here. Okay, that is the depth, you can see. Depth direction. Where do the direction goes depth? Forward, backward, center. This is going forward and center both. Weight. You can see weight of the text getting increased. weight of the text getting decreased. This is a lightweight. This is heavyweight. For video production filmmaking, heavyweight text are preferred. Frontage and all, I'm not going into these things. These are you can try and trick out. What I'm more interested in showing you is the materials. Like what kind of material you should see. It's like, see what are the options we have. We can give it a wooden look. It is a wooden red wood, or we can give it a concrete look, aged concrete. It depends on the personality of people. We are giving it a paper. It's a look of a paper. Plastic, stone, many things we can do. Colored concrete. Let me go with something whiter, white marble. Okay, so that it is more prominent to see. White marble, it is given a good texture to it. Depth of the marble it is reducing. So I can select here also pink granite or whatever, dark granite. So here it is the settings of the substance. My font size and nothing is changing over here. So if I'm changing the scale, it is changing the scale of the materials which is inside it, if you can see. Similarly, rotation and everything is happening with the material, not of the text that is happening. Now there are some 3D inbuilt text also in all the softwares you get these days. 3D inbuilt text also, like this. These fonts are a little bit different. Let me go for Georgia. Okay. Here are the depths and color. Let me go for a bluish, dark bluish thing. I'm just choosing color so that it is prominent in the background, for this background, nothing else. There's no aesthetic choice I'm making over here. Okay, lighting is another part. See how the lighting will change. In this I will show you so that you get it properly, more proper. Here, yes, here also we have lighting. Backlit. Lighting from above. Lighting from below. These signs are also showing you how the light is going to fall, how the light is going to fall on the text. Drama top right. Standard. So similarly, now this basic 3D that I have taken from here, you can see, if I just scroll it over, you can see it comes like this. Right, it goes away. So this is also doing this. If I don't want it, I can go to the text part and build in. That is, built in is this. This is built in, and this is now the stable. And from here it is built out. You can see this point, the text is going built out. So if I just deselect the built out, it will do build in and it will stay there. It will not go away because I've deselected the built out. Okay, let me select the built out and deselect the built in. Now you will see it will just appear. There is no build in, there is no fade in, and it will build out because I have selected built out here. Okay, if I don't select anything, it will be like a normal text. I have removed the animation part from here. Okay, let me select both and let me change the animation. Okay, so basic 3D, it is inbuilt in this, and the 3D whatever animation you have, you can tinker it in any kind of software. Fine. So chapter text are nothing different than these text that we are using right now over here, and uh, let me come to the credit text, then I will come to the subtitles. Those are more interesting and important. So when the film is finishing, generally credit text comes over there. We have this scrolling template is there in every software. So as I was like clicking, as you saw earlier, same thing. I will just click it, and here if I come, I can change the title of the whatever. I'll put director here, and then the name of the person, or the name here, or the post of the person, and it will go away. It will keep on. Now see, basic signs of this scroll. Whenever you use the scroll, so this clip is 10 seconds long. Okay, 10 seconds long, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lines, 11 lines including this. 11 lines, 10 seconds. What if you cannot read this in this time? What do you do? How do you make it slow? Nothing, very simple. You just extend this clip. Extending this clip, because you have the same 10 lines and now you have extended the clip. So the software will fill the 10 lines into this clip, this duration. Remember, this is a generator. So software itself has the algorithm to work on that. So it is slower. Similarly, if you want to make it faster, we reduce the clip. Right? We can add lines and it will behave the same way. If you extend the clip, it will be slower. If you reduce that, it will be faster. Lower thirds and all those elements, these are like any simple text can be also like taken lower third, as I have shown you. Any text can be taken lower third, not like this. For example, let me come to a basic text. The basic text I was using, basic title I was using, and it comes like this. And I'll just, if I have to put the name of the interviewee or interviewer, or where the place is, so there is no problem in it. You don't need a template of lower third like this, like they have given. You can manually make it lower third. And the same way, like these titles are coming on the timeline, you can use the things in between, and you can make chapter titles also. Now let us come to the subtitles. Subtitles, when you watch text, as I already mentioned earlier, as when you watch the text, when the guy is speaking, like for example, here you can see the audio, even if you cannot listen to the audio, you can see the audio. So he's speaking right now, and when he's speaking and whatever he's speaking, if it comes here, that is called subtitle, right? So subtitle is called when it is in the final film, when you in watching the film and the text is coming in between in the lower part, that is called subtitle. When you are editing it, and technically on the timeline when you are doing it, it is called captions. So you can import captions from outside, right? So if you have a SRT file, you can just import the caption, ITT from your hard disk or hard drive, or you can create. I've told you earlier that if you don't know what is there in the software, where it is there in the software, you are using a new software, suppose. So always go to the help section and type whatever you want. See, I typed caption. I was not very sure that where it is here in, because for captions I use a different software. Anyways, we are talking about Anyly, and so I just searched and it is here in the edit, and I'm going to add caption. So wherever my cursor was, this title clip came in here, and I can add the cursor. So I'll just move the title clip till here. I'll double click it, and I'll just write the dialogue is speaking. Now by default it is coming here. I can the placement can be changed. But I wanted to. Anyways, you can see the all the information is here, like where in the timeline, where does the title appear, the subtitle appear, what is the subtitle, what is the headline of the subtitle, how are you displaying it, what is the color of the text, everything is over here. Okay, and suppose we didn't have this letterbox, so it would look like this. The default caption will look like this. It will have a black background already, so that we can read the white text. I'm just copy and pasting it, I'm changing it over here. Your subtitles should be short sentences or part of sentences. It cannot be a whole long, it should not come from here to here. Okay. Whenever a person is speaking a long sentence, you divide it up. Okay, so this is a continuous dialogue, you can see, right? You can see this waveform. This is a continuous dialogue over here, but I have divided it into two parts. It is readable also, and it doesn't cover up the space, and it looks aesthetic also. So I'm typing here. It is already getting typed here and here also. Right? These are called captions. This is caption. Okay. Ultimately, when we give output and when the film when we will watch the film like this, then we will call it subtitle. But when we are working inside the timeline, then it is called captions. And technically, even after the output also, technically editors call it captions only most of the time. Subtitles is a general word that normal people use. I don't know whether it is important or not, but yeah, it is important. If you are a lawyer, you should know legal terminologies, and when you are interacting with judges and other lawyers and all, you should be using the words that they use, right? So similarly, if you are an editor, you should use this technical terms, technical terminologies, which will establish you. And if you are starting out, it is more important for you to use these words, remember these words, and talk in a professional manner. Okay. Now again, having said this, this is person to person, but I just emphasized it. I do it. I keep in mind that whenever some new software is coming in, some new technology is coming in, some new concept is coming in, I learn the concept practically also, and I learn it theoretically also, so that I understand I can do more things practically if I understand better in theoretically. I can talk about it to other editors and gain their expertise also. By that, all this starts with my understanding of vocabulary. This I am talking since the first moment of this course. The first thing I asked you, what is the difference between film, cinema, and movie, right? So from the beginning of the class, the beginning of the course, I'm mentioning this, like you must know technical terminology when you are talking, using, and communicating with others. No, it is not necessary at all. It is not necessary. Most of the people don't do it, and Netflix doesn't want it. If I make it this top and bottom like that CinemaScope, this letterbox, Netflix will reject it. They will tell me to give back the original format. It is not at all necessary. This is just, I just showed you that we are doing this to give it a cinematic look only. It is not at all necessary. You can just like remove it. It is not at all. And these OTT platforms also do not prefer that we make it like this and we are giving it. But if our content, for example, thriller films, you will need some kind of tightness into it. So most of the thrillers are shot with red camera because red camera gives good contrast. So similarly, not just because of the lighting, also because of the framing, the thrill comes on the screen. So this is not a thriller, this is just a drama. So we can have like this. Like it is not at all necessary. Now, this captions are not the regular titles you can see, right? Everything else is regular title. The credit title was a bit different. The scroll title was different. This is normal. These all are same kind of titles. I can make it 2D. I can make a 3D. I can do keyframing. I can make animation. And subtitle, the captions are pretty much different. They are also positioned in a different place. Okay. And while exporting, which is the tomorrow's class, we have to keep in mind that what kind of subtitles we are exporting. Are we exporting open subtitles or closed subtitles? Technically, it is called open captions or closed captions. Now, open caption and closed captions, it sounds differently, but I'll tell you the meaning. Open caption means you can switch on and off the subtitle in the video, right? Open doesn't mean that it is closed, doesn't mean that it is off. Open means it can be switched on and off, and closed means it is fixed. It is burnt in. It is also called burnt in subtitles, right? If you send to a festival or somewhere that you have a burnt in subtitles or an SRT file also. So all these things we are going to see tomorrow in the export setting class, that what are the settings of the export that when we give, and what things we have to keep in mind for the video and the text and for everything else, right? We will give an export. We will correct this little bit and we'll give export to this file. Okay. So this was titles and text. We will be putting a PDF file which will tell you about typography, the theory of typography, about fonts and everything, about kinetic. So you should read that also. Editor must understand fonts. An editor must understand the personality of the text that you are going to put. So you have to treat it like any other generator, any other element that you are using in your video. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for attending.